It wasn't until I was dying that I found out. My parents had access to a swap system. They could freely switch my resources with my sisters, arranging our lives as they pleased. I studied my ass off to get into a top-tier university, but in the end, my parents gave my scores to my sister. I was left with her junior college exam scores, and had to settle for some random school to end my miserable life. Right before I took my last breath, my parents coldly told me, "You were born to serve your sister. Being able to die in her place is your privilege." When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the eve of the college entrance exams. "Xiaoxi, how confident are you about this mock exam?" I opened my eyes. I saw my mom's eager gaze. I was stunned for a moment. Then I realized I had been reborn. It was a month before the college entrance exams. We had just finished the final mock exam. The moment I got home, Mom immediately pressed me for my results. And my sister, Wenxin, was lounging with her legs crossed, playing a game on her phone. Beside her, Dad was feeding her a peeled apple. He looked utterly doting. The exact same scene threw me off. In my past life, I answered Mom truthfully. I said I was very confident. Then, Mom asked me a hypothetical question. If it were possible, could you swap your scores with your sisters? Back then, I thought it was just a hypothetical, and it would make Mom, Dad, and my sister happy, so I nodded and agreed. But that single step crushed my entire life into the dust. My sister used my scores to get into her dream top-tier university. Later, she leveraged her genius persona to go viral online and enter the entertainment industry. She became a celebrated intellectual and A-list star. As for me, since my parents wouldn't pay for me to retake the exams, I had to take my score of just over 300 and go to some no-name college. Driven by sheer stubbornness, I studied hard for the grad school entrance exam, but in the end, even that score was stolen by my sister to add another halo to her image. From then on, I completely gave up on my own life. I had to admit I was a fool who tried hard, but was useless anyway. Later, my sister successfully married into a wealthy family, while my family arranged a marriage meeting for me. They wanted to marry me off to a restaurant owner, who was 15 years older, but had a bit of money, and he was already on his second marriage. By that time, I had already decided to leave my family behind, to go far away. But my parents found me. They wanted me to give my heart to my sister. If you give your heart to your sister, we won't force you to get married for the rest of your life. You can live however you want. At the time, I just thought their idea was ridiculous. My sister's illness couldn't be solved by a heart transplant, so I agreed without thinking. Little did I know, from that point on, my life entered a countdown. While my sister, who should have been critically ill, recovered and became radiant again. She walked into her wedding with her wealthy husband. I snapped back to reality. I looked at my wrist and my sister's wrist. We both had the same red circle on our wrists. It wasn't a birthmark. It was a symbol marked by the system. "What's with you? Spacing out like that? I'm talking to you." Mom waved her hand in front of my face, facing the same question again. This time, I still chose to nod. "Yeah, I'm very confident I can make the list. My daughter is amazing." Mom gave me a knowing smile, just like in my past life. Then, her eyes flickered. She asked me, hypothetically, if you had the chance to swap your college entrance exam score with your sister's, would you be willing? My sister is a genius. She'll definitely get into a top-tier university. Even if I could swap, it wouldn't be right, would it? It's just a hypothetical question. Just say you're willing. Mom urged me, go along with your mother's wishes. That's the only way she'll get better. I've heard that line so many times, it's worn out. How many times? For the sake of that line, I always went along with Mom's wishes, and it ended up ruining my entire life. I looked up. I asked my sister, "Sis, are you willing to swap?" My sister always acted superior and delicate. Hearing this, she didn't even look at me. "Swap my ass. With your lousy grades, you'd only get into a diploma mill. Have some backbone. If you're not smart, then work twice as hard. Don't even think about coveting mine." My sister, like my past self, has no idea the exchange system exists. She's just like everyone else, thinking she's a genius. And I'm the idiot. Hearing her answer, I shrug and smile. If sis doesn't agree, then I don't agree either. No, Mom's reaction is intense. It's just a hypothetical question. Why won't you even agree to that? You're so inconsiderate. It wasn't easy raising you. Can't you even say something to make me happy? Besides, your grades are worse than your sister's. She's doing you a favor by swapping with you. How can you be so ungrateful? I look at Mom innocently. Sis said no first. Facing my sister, Mom loses her earlier fire. She walks over and gently coaxes her. Xin, sweetie, this is your mother's wish. Please agree to it for me. Okay, my good girl. Ugh, so annoying. Sis turns her head away and goes back to her game. Mom anxiously follows her gaze, continuing to plead. Seeing her so frantic, I remember something. Right before I died in my past life, I overheard my parents talking. The system will execute the host's request with the exchanged person's consent. If either party refuses, the exchange won't happen. In that case, the host can choose to force the exchange, but the system will backlash. In my past life, because I always went along with Mom's wishes, she never had to use the forced option. This time, I want to see what happens when the system backlashes. Soon, so she can game in peace. Sis agrees to go along with our parents. Mom and Dad turned their focus back to me. Now your sister agrees. You agree to swap your college entrance exam scores with her, right? I shake my head. Sis is right. A person needs backbone, even if it's hypothetical. I want to try on my own effort. No free rides. Ungrateful wretch. Mom shoves my shoulder. Glaring angrily, she yells at me. Since your sister is willing to give it to you, just accept it happily. Say you agree. Now, the strong shove knocks me over. The back of my head hits the sofa armrest. It hurts so much I'm sweating. At that very moment, I notice Mom's eyes suddenly lock, focusing on the air in front of me, as if she's seeing something. Her expression turns shocked and helpless. Probably the system warned her not to pressure the person involved. Anyway, it's definitely not out of concern for me. Sure enough, Mom glares at me fiercely, and stops talking. She doesn't come to help me up either. Soon, I realize, Mom's not just not talking to me, she's not talking to anyone. This goes on for 24 hours. I conclude, the system must have muted her for a day. I breathe a sigh of relief. The next day, during breakfast, there was a peeled egg in my bowl. That kind of treatment is usually only for my older sister. I peeled and ate an egg myself. I didn't eat the peeled one. Dad broke it open, and offered it to me. A soft-boiled egg, fresh off the stove. Eat it while it's hot. Dad knows you like them. Thanks. But soft-boiled eggs are what my older sister likes. I only like the egg whites. Dad looked a bit awkward. I pretended not to notice, and just kept eating. He hesitated to speak. He never said anything before I finished breakfast. The moment I picked up my backpack, he was surprised. Why are you leaving so soon? You only ate for 3 minutes. I looked at him indifferently. I've always eaten this fast. They're used to catering to my sister. They thought my habits were the same as hers, that I also take half an hour to eat. Seeing me put on my shoes, he hurried over. Dad will take you to school. I thought for a second, and silently agreed. I got in the car, and pretended to sleep without a word. I heard Dad's questioning voice. It's still dark out. Why did you get up so early today? I didn't open my eyes, and replied coldly. I get up at this time every day. That's a lie. The bus doesn't even come at this hour. You'd have to walk. I memorize English vocabulary while waiting for the bus. It arrives after I finish one page. If you don't believe me, you can ask Uncle Mo. Uncle Mo? Who's that? The bus driver. Dad suddenly fell silent. I don't know if he was blaming himself for not caring enough about me, or maybe thinking about what excuse he could use to get me to agree to swap college entrance exam scores with my sister. He didn't speak again the whole way. When we got to the school gate, I opened my eyes, opened the car door, and got out. Let Dad walk you to your classroom. Sure. Do you know where my classroom is? Dad was stunned again. His eyes were full of confusion. I didn't look at him again. I turned and walked away indifferently. Xiaoxi, no matter how bad Mom and Dad are, they're the ones who gave birth to you and raised you. Your mother isn't well. Whatever wish she has, you should try to fulfill it for her. After all, it's just a matter of saying a few words. It won't tire you out. As expected, he finally said it. I gripped my backpack straps tightly. My voice was low and calm. Anyone would get tired of hearing the same question 100 times. I really want to know why Mom is so obsessed with making me swap things with my sister. Since elementary school, until now, she asks similar questions several times a month. Could it be that this is actually possible? When I turned around, I saw Dad's pale face. Oh, of course not. What are you thinking? Your mom just likes to imagine things. Oh, that's not a good habit. Overthinking might lead to schizophrenia. I definitely shouldn't indulge her. If you have time, take her to see a doctor. That's better than making me lie. The results of the final mock exam were posted on the school bulletin board. First place was still my proud and brilliant genius sister, Wen Xian, and my name was still nowhere to be seen. That's because, before this exam, I had already promised Mom I would swap our mock exam scores. This time, it went exactly as she wished. Again, that day, I saw my sister update her social media. Her score of over 700 points got hundreds of thousands of likes and hundreds of thousands of positive comments. People asked for her study secrets. She only replied with one sentence. You need secrets for something this easy? The world of a genius is truly different from ordinary people. In my Everyone past marveled at the world of a genius. My sister leveraged her identity as a genius top scorer to skyrocket into a mega influencer. After entering the entertainment industry, our resources were unequal. Our parents couldn't swap things for us anymore. She gradually revealed her intellectual shortcomings, repeatedly making a fool of herself on variety shows. But everyone saw her through the halo of being a top scorer, so even when she made basic mistakes, people just thought she was playing dumb for the show. Not only did they not blame her, they even praised her for being cute. Seeing this video again, I quietly spent money to boost its reach. Fly higher, so the fall will hurt more. After school that day, my parents came to my classroom door in person. They gave me warm and kind smiles. Xiaoxi, let's go home. Dad made your favorite dishes today. They're pulling out all the stops to sweet talk me into swapping scores. I shook my head. No, I've already applied to live on campus. Until the college entrance exams are over, I won't be coming home. What? How could you move on campus? Without our permission, Mom shrieked. Our homeroom teacher happened to hear this. She came over to explain. Ms. Wen, living on campus helps students focus on studying. It also lightens the load for you parents. No way. I don't agree. She yanked me outside, and practically forced me, saying, if you agree to swap your college entrance exam scores with your sister, I'll let you board at school. I shook my head. No, 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 slap. She slapped my face to the side. Her hand brushed lightly across my cheek. This scene was witnessed by the homeroom teacher. The teacher immediately ran over and shielded me behind her, arguing with Mom, saying she shouldn't physically punish a child. They argued fiercely. I quietly walked away, returned to the dorm and opened my books to study. This incident blew up. My sister was already a hot topic, so everyone paid extra attention to us, her family members. Someone happened to film the conversation between Mom and me, and posted it online. It caused a huge uproar. People suspected foul play, but there was no concrete evidence. On the other hand, the issue of our parents favoring my sister was magnified endlessly, played on all sorts of parenting shows. Many empathetic netizens spoke up for me, questioning why our parents favored my sister over supporting me. Post, sis, post, night posts, dedicated posting. Night posts. Not long after, I saw my sister post something. On social media, black background with white text. The idea of swapping scores is absurd. Every single one of my scores is earned through my own hard work. Second, our parents suggesting giving my scores to my sister is out of concern for her, not favoritism toward me. Third, if my college entrance exam score is lower than my sister's, I will voluntarily give up my inheritance rights to the family assets. This statement shot her name straight to the top of the trending searches. Our parents posted videos supporting her decision. yuan/6. Her supporters said, she'll use her exam scores to shut up all the voices doubting her. As for me, I never expressed any opinion from start to finish. I just kept studying day and night. The college entrance exams arrived as scheduled, facing the exact same test papers as in my past life. The answers were clear in my mind, but I filled them out according to my sister's ability level. I bet Mom will force a score swap between us. Right outside the school gate, I saw a group of reporters gathered, interviewing students at the entrance. My older sister was the center of attention, surrounded in the middle. When asked about the difficulty of the exam, she chuckled. Hard or not, I wouldn't know, but I finished it in half an hour. A sharp-eyed reporter spotted me, and shoved a microphone in my face. And you, little sister, was it hard? Not hard. Everything was within my expectations. A few snickers came from the crowd, typical of a slacker. Can't even tell how hard the exam was. And my mom, waiting not far away, breathed a sigh of relief with a smile. On the day the exam results came out, my parents did a live stream to reveal the scores. Even before the scheduled time, they were already chatting with viewers on camera. Yes, our Shinshin's last mock exam score was 706. Everyone says this year's college entrance exam was easier than the mock exams. So, her final score has a high chance of surpassing 706. Oh, the younger sister's score. She's just not cut out for studying. She's just not cut out for studying. She only got 321 on the mock exam. We've always been fair and just. Always fair and just. Rewards and punishments based on merit. The favoritism people talk about online simply doesn't exist. It's just that our eldest is too outstanding, so people think we favor her. Actually, we actually pay more attention to the younger sister. Hearing this, the netizens all said, talk is cheap. When the time came, my parents excitedly rubbed their hands together. They pointed the camera at the computer, ready to reveal the results. My older sister was as calm as ever, lounging on the sofa playing games. Let's check the younger sister's first, see if she made the second-tier cutoff. The camera shook a bit. My score immediately appeared on the screen. Science track. 321. The exact same score as in my past life. My dad and mom exchanged a glance, revealing a knowing smile. The camera couldn't see them, only the score. The netizens' comments were heartbreaking. Still as consistent as ever, consistently bad. With a score like this, anyone could do better with minimal effort. No wonder her sister could talk about giving up her inheritance. While everyone was praising the older sister, Dad immediately entered her exam ID number. To build suspense, he even covered up the score area, revealing it bit by bit, starting with the ones place. The first digit to appear was a 0. My parents grinned excitedly. Could it be a perfect score? Just as expected. Seeing this, my parents dropped the mystery act. They just uncovered their hands. 320 points. That glaring number froze the smiles on our parents' faces. The comment section erupted in mocking laughter. Top score in the Gaokao. That's all you're supposed to be the top score. And you were supposed to be the top score. Don't make me laugh. That's it. Don't make me laugh. That's it. Don't make me laugh. Oh, that's it. Snap. The inheritance is goodbye to the inheritance. Just a one-way goodbye to the inheritance. Millions of netizens are watching. You owe your sister. Don't even think about backing out. Mom couldn't believe the result. kept re-entering the exam admission ticket number to check again. My sister sensed something was off, strutted over and pushed our parents aside, to see for herself. One look, and she lost it. Impossible. The system must have made a mistake. I demand to see the exam papers. What did you pick for the first math multiple choice question? I'm asking you. My sister was taken aback. Didn't react right away. She scoffed. The exam's over. No one remembers all that. Weren't you the one with the photographic memory? I've studied her exam papers. Her fundamentals are weak. She always gets the first question wrong. And she likes to guess on answers. Sister looks embarrassed. Tells me to shut up. I press her on the theme of the Chinese essay. Her essays always go off topic. Without exception. The computer screen reflects the live chat. Can't remember the multiple choice. Surely you haven't forgotten the essay topic? Even a slacker like me remembers it. And you can't even say what it was. And you call yourself a photographic genius? Sister can't come up with a single answer. Frantically reaches over to end the live stream. Sister insists on going to the Education Bureau to check the scores. Mom and Dad have no choice but to agree, to calm her down. Afterwards, Mom storms over to me. What's going on with you? Why did you score so low? You usually do so well. Dad also questions me loudly. I look at them, confused. I always get scores like this. I'm not the one who messed up. Sister is. My parents hesitated to speak. They asked me vague questions. I nodded calmly. Yeah, I had a stomachache. So I only wrote a little bit. You're so useless. Mom yelled at me, then went back to comfort my sister. It's okay. You can retake the exams. I'll have your younger sister retake them with you. Next year, you'll definitely get the top score and redeem today's failure. Sorry, I'm not retaking the exams. I spoke up. Mom snapped at me. With grades like these, what future do you have if you don't retake the exams? Dad chimed in. Exactly. With your score, you can only get into a private college. The tuition is so expensive. Even if you want to go, I'm not willing to pay for it. I'm not going to a private college. My sister gave me a cold look. You only scored 1 point higher than me. What are you so smug about? If not a private college, what kind of school do you think you can get into? I'm going abroad for a foundation year. My teacher told me. My IELTS and TOEFL scores are pretty good. Some schools will take me. My parents were stunned. When did you even take those tests? While I was boarding at school. My teacher suggested I do it, so I just went for it. My homeroom teacher was a beacon of light in my life. He was really concerned every time I aced small quizzes, but messed up on major exams. So, he gave me a suggestion. If I underperformed on the college entrance exam again, I should study abroad. In my past life, my parents stopped me. I didn't take his advice. But now that I'm back, I went straight to my homeroom teacher for help. Mom burst out laughing. What's the point of getting in? We won't give you any money. How could you afford it? Let me tell you something. You have no other choice. You must retake the exam with your sister. That's fine. Our homeroom teacher said, if I'm willing, he'll lend me the money. You wouldn't dare. There's nothing I wouldn't dare. I'm an adult now. You can't just lock me up. Mom immediately ran over and shut the door. If you dare step out that door today, I'll break your legs. She pointed her finger in my face and yelled, you were born to serve your sister. Without her, you wouldn't even exist. I sneered. So you finally admit it. You don't love me. What's so hard about admitting that? We just don't love you. We had you to be a companion for your sister. Whatever she does, you have to do. You don't get a choice. Fine. I pulled out the phone I'd hidden in my pocket and pointed the live stream camera at Mom. Everyone heard that. This is the kind of living hell I'm in. My parents don't love me. There's no reason for me to stay here, facing my stunned parents and sister. I resolutely grabbed my already packed bags and left this godforsaken house for good. Mom tried to come after me, but suddenly collapsed. After being taken to the hospital, the doctor quickly confirmed it was leukemia, and the only person who could donate bone marrow to her was her sister. Facing this disaster, Mom pointed at me, tears streaming down her face. It's all your fault. It's because of you. Why wasn't it you who matched with me? I leaned in and whispered in her ear. It was supposed to be me. But you forgot. When we were kids, my sister and I practiced dancing. My sister's basic skills weren't up to par, but I took first place. You asked me if I was willing to swap physical fitness with my sister. I agreed. Mom's eyes widened. You know, I smiled. The backlash is just beginning. Enjoy it slowly. After going abroad, I didn't need my homeroom teacher's financial support. Because of that live stream, my account gained over 1 million followers right away. I also used this opportunity, along with memories from my past life, to start a travel account. While studying abroad, I showed everyone the world overseas. Everyone knew my situation. Every live stream had kind people giving me large tips. This money, plus the income from each live stream, was already enough to cover my expenses abroad. 4 years later, I had long since been officially accepted into the school through my own hard work. Over these past few years, I've won multiple scholarships. By now, I was a somewhat well-known travel vlogger. I even started a small company with some friends, specializing in cross-border travel projects. The school has a startup grant support program. Our project received key support. My life was getting better and better. Then one day, my travel agency received a special booking, specifically requesting that I lead the tour. I glanced at the list. and sure enough, I saw their names. They're like a bad penny. I've even fled abroad, and I still can't shake them. I didn't accept the booking, but then, Dad persistently applied, demanding I lead the group. When I started my master's program, he was still applying. I looked at my smooth wrist, and wavered. 3 months ago, the red dot on my wrist suddenly vanished. That's when I suspected that person was gone, driven by that curiosity. This time, I accepted the booking. When I arrived at the airport, my jaw nearly dropped. I couldn't believe it. This old man with white hair was my father. He was only 48 today. On the surface, he looked like a man in his 70s or 80s. When he saw me, his eyes welled up with tears. He reached out to take my hand. I raised my hand to scratch my nose, avoiding his touch. He awkwardly withdrew his hand. I was all business. Looking down as I explained the itinerary, he followed me numbly. His eyes were vacant, like a walking corpse. I noticed, his right foot was a bit lame. He walked with a limp. There were many calluses on his fingers, as if from years of hard labor. Although his company wasn't large, he could easily make 1 or 2 million a year. So why the calluses? And, his clothes were worn and old. He asked me in a hoarse voice. I kept my expression indifferent. Say whatever you want. Dad let out a long sigh. Xiaoxi, all these years, we've wronged you. You've suffered so much. I know, that's why I stay away from you. And I won't forgive you. His expression changed slightly. He looked as if he'd just swallowed something bitter. Your sister refused to donate bone marrow to your mom back then. Your mom could only rely on medication to get by. We waited for years. She passed away last month. Before she died, she wanted to see you one last time. She asked me to tell you she was sorry. I find that laughable. I can't believe those words came from her mouth. Dad's eyes darted around. He sighed. Yes, she never apologized. But she also regretted spoiling your sister and giving what was rightfully yours to her. Hearing this, I was fed up. I immediately called my subordinate to handle the rest of the formalities, and left first. Dad grabbed my arm. I'm your father. You have an obligation to support me. Ha, so the truth finally comes out. What repentance? What awakening? It's all with an ulterior motive. I forcefully shook off his hand, and left without looking back. A long time later, I learned from an old classmate about what really happened afterwards. My sister indeed didn't agree to donate bone marrow to our mother, but Dad forced her to agree. After she donated, she felt her health deteriorating, and doubled down on demanding things from the family. She didn't go to college. She wanted to be an internet celebrity. Our parents spent money to make her popular, but since she was the favored beneficiary of our parents' bias, many netizens didn't buy it. As soon as she went online, people would curse at her. My sister has a hot temper to begin with. She couldn't stand being cyberbullied at all. She repeatedly argued with netizens. As a result, her live stream room was frequently banned. The path to becoming a live stream sensation was blocked. So Dad arranged for her to join the company, hoping she would learn to take over the company's affairs. And then, in less than a year, she ran the company into the ground. Not only did Dad go bankrupt, he was also left in debt. The three of us had no choice but to move out of our big house and into a self-built house in the urban village. My sister couldn't handle the hardship of working, so she just stayed home and lived off their savings. Mom and Dad spoiled her, so they worked day and night. Then, bored out of her mind at home, she got hooked on gambling. Mom and Dad couldn't earn money fast enough to keep up with her losses. Our family started hiding from debt collectors everywhere, but the amount my sister owed was just too huge, and it was loan sharks she owed. They were known for their ruthless collection methods. We thought we'd get beaten up or arrested, but instead, my sister went missing. After we reported it, we waited a whole year for news about her. Turns out, she was sold overseas for money. Her body was broken, and her mind was on the verge of collapse. So, she was sold abroad for money. Her body was broken, and her mind was on the verge of collapse. When the police found her, she had died from a sudden heart attack. She didn't even have a stitch of clothing on. Her mother died from the shock. Her father returned home, defeated. He became a lonely man with nothing left. After hearing my old classmate's story, I was filled with doubts. If Mom loved my sister so much, then, why didn't she use the forced exchange again? In my 5th year abroad, my company was starting to take shape. Our international travel routes covered many countries in Europe and the Americas. In my live stream, I was standing at the foot of the Swiss Alps. Behind me were snow-capped peaks and a clear blue sky. I was sharing my hiking experiences with fans, when a strange text message popped up on my phone. It's Lin Wei. Before your mom passed away, she asked me to give this to you. Lin Wei was my high school deskmate, and one of the few people who knew about my family. I'm Lin Wei. Before your mom passed away, she asked me to give this to you. Lin Wei was my high school deskmate, and one of the few people who knew about my family situation. I had my assistant take over the live stream, and drove to the agreed-upon cafe myself. I pushed the door open. Lin Wei was sitting by the window. In front of her was a faded wooden box. She seemed much more composed than in high school. When she saw me, her eyes welled up first. I know you don't want to see them, but this was your mom's last wish. I had to deliver it. The box was very light. When I opened it, there was only a yellow diary inside, and an old photo. The photo showed 2 baby girls in swaddling clothes. Their features were almost identical. Both had faint red dots on their wrists. The diary's cover had no name on it. The pages were already brittle, but the handwriting was neat and elegant. I opened to the first page. The date was over 20 years ago, the year when she and I were born. The diary cover has no name on it. The pages are brittle, but the handwriting is neat and elegant. I opened to the first page. The date is from over 20 years ago, the same year when Sheen and I were born. Today, I gave birth to twins. The doctor said the older sister is weak, but the younger one is healthy. The system suggested swapping their constitutions. I hesitated for a long time, but in the end, I agreed. Xin is the older sister. She deserves to be well taken care of. Xiaoxi is strong, so it's okay if she bears more. When Xiaoxi was 3 years old, she was half a head taller than Xin. She can already eat and dress herself, but Xin still needs to be fed. The system asked if I wanted to swap their self-care abilities. I agreed. She's a girl. Being a bit delicate makes her more endearing. Xiaoxi is too sensible, so she can take better care of her older sister in the future. The system asked if I wanted to swap their self-care abilities. I agreed. Girls are supposed to be a little delicate. It makes them more endearing. Xiaoxi was too mature. She could look after her sister more in the future. For their first elementary school exam, Xiaoxi got 2 perfect scores. Xin failed. The system suggested swapping their grades. I asked Xiaoxi. She said she was willing to let her sister have it. Seeing Xin's happy face when she got the award, I felt I'd made the right decision. So swapping really could make the kids' lives better. Page after page, it was filled with my mother's calculations. She used the system to swap my traits with Xin's. Physical health, self-care abilities, learning aptitude, even the resilience and timidity in our personalities. Before every swap, she would ask me if I was willing. She used the system to swap things between me and Xin. Our physical health, ability to care for ourselves, learning talents, even our personalities, our resilience and our fears. Before every swap, she would ask me if I was willing. And as a young child, I always thought I had to give in to her because mom was sick. So I kept nodding, until the last page of the diary. The date was the year I went abroad. Xiaoxi left. She said I didn't love her, but how could I not love her? I just wanted both children to be okay. Xin was weak and not very bright. Without the swaps, how could she ever make it in this world? Xiaoxi was so outstanding, losing a little wouldn't matter. The system said forced swaps came at a price. I thought it was just losing my voice or getting sick, until I was diagnosed with leukemia. That's when I knew. The price was my life. I asked Lin Wei to give the diary to Xiaoxi. I wanted to tell her I'm sorry. It's not that I didn't love her. I just went about it the wrong way. I asked Lin Wei to give the diary to Xiaoxi. I wanted to tell her I'm sorry. It's not that I didn't love her. I just went about it the wrong way. If there's a next life, I'll cherish her properly. I won't force her to give in to anyone. I closed the diary. My fingers were ice cold. So, mom wasn't born cold. She was just trapped by her obsession with perfect parenting. She thought swapping us would give both sisters a better life. But she forgot. The things that were taken from me were things I fought tooth and nail to have. Lin Wei said softly, before your mom passed away, she kept calling your name. Uncle Wen didn't fare well later on. He had a stroke and was paralyzed in a nursing home. I went to see him the other day. He said he wanted to tell you he's sorry. I didn't say anything. I put the diary and photos back in the wooden box. All these years, I thought I'd already let it go. But seeing my mother's handwriting still felt like a needle prick to the heart. I didn't say a word. I put the diary and photos back in the wooden box. All these years, I thought I had let it go. But seeing my mother's handwriting, it still felt like a needle pricking my heart. It's not forgiveness. I just suddenly realized. She was a first-time mother, too. In an extreme and obsessive way. She tried to balance the lives of her 2 children, but it ended in tragedy. Leaving the cafe, I drove to the nursing home. It was a private nursing home on the outskirts of town. The environment was decent enough, but the air was thick with the smell of disinfectant. A caregiver led me to a room. An elderly man with gray hair lay in the bed. It was Wen Zhengwo. He looked so much older than in the photos. His mouth was crooked. His eyes were cloudy. When he saw me, a light suddenly flickered in those cloudy eyes. He struggled to sit up, but only managed to make muffled sounds. That's Wen Zhengwo. He looks so much older than in the photos. His mouth is twisted. His eyes are cloudy. When he saw me, his cloudy eyes suddenly lit up. He struggled to sit up, but could only make muffled sounds. The caregiver said, Mr. Wen hasn't been able to speak since his stroke. He doesn't recognize anyone either. I'm surprised he reacted to you. I stood by the bed, watching his bony hands flail in the air, as if trying to grasp something. The contents of the diary swirled in my mind. My mother's paranoia, my father's indulgence, and when Xian's spoiled nature, all culminated in this desolate scene before me. I won't take care of you, I said softly. What you and mom owed me back then, I won't ask you to repay it, but I won't give you anything more either. When Zhengwo froze, turbid tears streamed from the corners of his eyes, soaking the pillowcase. I won't take care of you, I said softly. What you and mom owed me back then, I won't ask you to repay, but I won't give you another cent either. When Zhengwo froze, turbid tears streamed down from the corners of his eyes, soaking the pillowcase. I turned and left. Without looking back, I walked out of the nursing home. The sunlight was blinding. Suddenly, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. All the resentment and bitterness bottled up inside, after reading the diary and seeing my father's condition, finally began to fade away. I don't need their apology, nor do I need any so-called reconciliation. I just want to live my own life well. Back at the company, my assistant handed me a document. Boss, there's a major client back home. They want to book a custom family tour, and they specifically requested you to lead it. I opened the file. The client's name was listed as Winran. That name sounded vaguely familiar. It took me a while to remember. He's Wen Xian's son. According to Lin Wei, when Wen Xian passed away, she was pregnant. The child was adopted by a kind-hearted couple. They named him Winran. Now the child is 5 years old. His adoptive parents want to take him abroad for a visit. They happened to see my travel agency, and placed an order. I hesitated for a long time, but in the end, I agreed. I don't hold any grudge against Winran. He's innocent. He shouldn't pay for the mistakes of the previous generation. On the day of departure, I met Winran and his adoptive parents at the airport. Winran looks a lot like Wen Xian, but without her arrogance. His big eyes are clear and bright. When he saw me, he politely greeted me. Hello, Aunt Wen. His adoptive parents are very gentle. They took meticulous care of him the whole way. During the trip, Winran was always curiously asking questions. He'd clap his hands excitedly at new and interesting things. Innocent and lively, just like any ordinary child. During the trip, Winran was always curiously asking questions, clapping excitedly at the sight of new things. Innocent and lively, just like any ordinary child. On a gondola in Venice, Italy, Winran pointed at the waterbirds on the surface, turned and asked me, Auntie, what was my mom like? His adoptive parents' expressions changed slightly. They tried to change the subject, but I stopped them. Looking into Winran's clear eyes, I said softly, your mom was very beautiful, and very smart, but she was spoiled as a child, and made some mistakes, but she loved you in her heart. She just couldn't be by your side. Winran nodded, not fully understanding. He didn't ask any more. I know, when he grows up, he'll naturally learn everything, but for now, I just wanted to give him a gentle answer. The last stop of the trip was Paris, France. Under the Eiffel Tower, Winran suddenly took my hand. He pulled a small paper star from his pocket. Auntie, I folded this. For you. Thank you for playing with me. Winran suddenly grabbed my hand, and pulled out a tiny paper star from his pocket. Auntie, I made this. It's for you. Thank you for playing with me. The star was a bit lopsided, but it was made with care. I took the star, and held it in my palm. Suddenly, I felt that all the past grievances seemed insignificant in the face of this child's innocence. After seeing Winran and his family off, I got a call from the nursing home. They said when Zhengwo had passed away, before he died, he was clutching a photo. It was a picture of me and Wen Xian when we were kids. I didn't attend the funeral. I just had my assistant send a wreath on my behalf. Some people, once you miss your chance, it's gone. No amount of making up can bring back the past. All I can do is not let the shadows of the past affect my future. Another 2 years passed. I set up a branch back home. It mainly runs charitable tourism programs, organizing trips abroad for kids from underprivileged areas, so they can experience a different world. Another 2 years passed. I set up a branch in China, focusing on charity tourism projects. We organized trips abroad for kids from poor areas, so they could experience a different world. On the day of the launch event, a lot of media showed up, and many fans who had supported me before were there too. At the event, a little girl timidly walked up to me. She handed me a drawing. Ms. Wen, I want to be like you when I grow up. I want to travel to many places, and help lots of people. On the paper, it showed a girl standing in the sunlight, with many children following behind her. The sky was a bright blue. I crouched down, and patted her head. If you work hard, you can definitely do it. After the event, my assistant handed me a document. Boss, someone anonymously donated a huge sum of money, specifically for the charity tourism project. I opened the donor list. The donor column read Winran. It suddenly occurred to me. Winran's adoptive parents had said they would give Wen Xian's entire inheritance to Winran, letting him decide how to use it. So, this child found his own way to carry on this kindness. That night, I returned to my apartment. I opened that faded wooden box, and placed the paper star Winran gave me inside. Diaries, photos, paper stars. These things that carry the past are no longer a burden, but a reminder to cherish the present. I walked to the window, looking at the city's sea of lights. I suddenly remembered many years ago, the night before the college entrance exam, sitting at my desk doing practice problems. Outside the window was a pitch-black night sky. But now, before my eyes, is a world of light. My phone rang. It was a message from my assistant. My phone rings. It's a message from my assistant. Boss, the kids for the next charity trip have been selected. We're heading to Thailand next week. I reply, okay. I turn off my phone, and lie down on the bed. These past few years, I haven't been in a relationship, and I haven't looked for my family. But I'm not alone. At work, I have colleagues fighting alongside me. In my live streams, I have fans who support me. And, in the charity projects, there are adorable kids, and friends like Lin Wei who've always cared about me. I remember the last line in my mother's diary. If there's a next life, I'll make sure to cherish her properly. Actually, I don't need a next life. In this life, I've learned to cherish myself. I've learned to move on from the shadows of the past. I've learned to grow towards the light. Everything that was once taken from me, I've earned back bit by bit through my own efforts. I've even gained so much more. Actually, I don't need a next life anymore. In this one, I've already learned to take care of myself. Learned to move on from the shadows of the past. Learned to embrace the light. Everything that was once taken from me, I've earned back, bit by bit, through my own efforts. I've even gained more. Moonlight streams in through the window, illuminating the wooden box on the table. I know, the past is behind me. The future is still waiting. I'll carry these experiences with me, and keep moving forward, to see more of the world, to help more people, to live as the person I want to be. A few more years passed. My charity travel project had helped over 1,000 children in impoverished areas. One of the girls got into a university abroad. She emailed me, thank you for showing me a bigger world. I want to be like you someday. Someone who passes on warmth. One of the girls got into a university abroad. She sent me an email, thank you for showing me a bigger world. I want to be like you in the future. To be someone who spreads warmth. I looked at the email. A smile spread across my face. It turns out, the best revenge isn't hatred, but living a better life than before. The best reconciliation isn't forgiveness, but making peace with yourself. I opened my live stream. The camera focused on the sunrise outside the window. Sunlight pierced through the clouds. Happiness spilled onto the earth. I said to the camera, "Hello everyone, I'm Wenxi. I want to share a story with you all. About loss. About growth. About how to find your own light in the darkest of times." In the live stream, comments kept scrolling, full of encouragement and blessings. I know that my story is still going on. And this time, I'm towards the light. And I'll keep going.